Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 dividends that I received today. We're going to drip those back into the portfolio to increase my dividend income within this portfolio. And then the second part of this video, I'm going to go into my 401k and show you the history of that account from March 2020 to present. So what we're looking at right now, this is my taxable stock brokerage account, my Average Joe dividends portfolio that I do most of my videos on. And like I said, I received some dividends this morning, and they were from Duke Energy. You can see the 1509, and McDonald's for 1421, and then Hershey's company for 1422. So this appears as cash in my account here. And what I can do is I could do several different things. I could just keep the money in the account and buy different fractional shares of other companies, or I could just take it as cash. I could spend it, or I could just hold it in savings and not invest it anywhere. But right now, my current strategy is for my individual positions, I'm dripping those right back into the same companies. So we're going to buy some Duke, McDonald's, and Hershey's, and that's what these 3 buys are. So the total was $43.52. So not too bad, just waking up to some free money from pretty much household names. I know Duke is a little bit regional. They're an energy provider, the utility, and so not everyone knows who Duke Energy is, but I'm sure everyone knows who McDonald's and Hershey's is. And most of the positions in my portfolio, they're all household names. So first up, the McDonald's dividend drip that I put to work for me, that bought 0.04824 of a share of McDonald's, so right about 5% of a share of McDonald's there. And then Duke, its dividend bought 0.13155 more shares of Duke Energy. And again, these are going right back into the company. So Hershey's, I'm getting with the dividend of the 1422, I'm buying 0.08392 of a share of Hershey's. This doesn't sound like a lot. It's not a whole lot because the 3 buys are only $43.52. But we're going to see what the impact it's going to have on my next dividends. I'm going to jump on over to my Google Docs spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below to this spreadsheet where I track all the positions in the portfolio. But we're going to look at the pay date, and this is today, the 17th. You can see they're in green. I have a rule set up when it's that day. It's going to light up in green, and we can see those dividends right here. We can see from Hershey's, Duke, and McDonald's, those are the dividends paid in there. I put in the last dividend. You can see the 1421. But we're going to see these next amounts are going to change now because we bought more fractional shares of each of those. And it's also going to impact my monthly, quarterly, and annual dividends for the whole portfolio as well. So this is nice to see because it wasn't money that I kicked in. I'm just using the money that came from the dividends, and I have it, it's automatically doing this. I have it set up. I'll show you really quickly how I do that within M1. I think it's right below here. I think it has the rules for, yeah, it's dividend handling. So you can see I have it set for custom, and just about all of them are reinvest. So Kimberly-Clark pays this dividend. It's going to go back into Kimberly-Clark, etc. For all these, except for NVIDIA, it pays less than $1. So I really can't put that one to work for me for NVIDIA. And there's 2 others. It was, yeah, BST and SCHD. These ones pay really large dividends. So what I wanted to do was kind of bolster the rest of the portfolio with their large dividends. BST pays me over $500 every single month. SCHD is getting ready. It's around quarterly. It's close to $1,000. So I want that to kind of lift up the other, raise up the Coca-Cola dividend, etc., to make those larger. We're going to go to the holdings tab though. We're going to update the sheet, and what I do is I just grab all the data from the name column here, capture this data, and it really all it's doing is I'm grabbing the new number of shares, average share price, and cost basis. But it's only going to change those three positions where fractional shares were purchased. And then all I do is I paste it into the M1 data tab. And it will automatically update the sheet using VLOOKUPs to import those new amounts. And I'll just show you one of them, like on the shares, like Pinnacle West. You can see it's doing a VLOOKUP on the M1 data tab. And like I said, I'll leave a link below, so you're welcome to look at this sheet. You can see the logic that I used to create that, to automate it, essentially just a copy and paste. I know there's services out there, but those services, they have delays. It uses Plaid. It can take a while to pull that data and into there, and also, you know, there's privacy concerns, and also those services are not free either. So I'd rather you just use something like this and then just invest in yourself. So let's look at the McDonald's. The 1421 dividend is going to now be 1430, and this will be in mid-September. Just add 3 months. These are all going to pay all over again. So it's not like they get, you know, they pay once and they're done. Next up, Hershey's 1422. It's not going to be 1433. And then Duke Energy moving from 1509 to 1523. But wait, there's more. It's going to be more because Hershey's is likely going to have a dividend increase in July. I don't think it's going to be the 15% that it was last year because Hershey's has been struggling lately. I'm just breaking even, including the dividends on my investment in Hershey's. And the same with Duke. I bet they do the 2%. Usually utilities are pretty steady Eddie with their dividend increases. They're smaller, but it's usually 2, 3, 4% is usually what you see for most of the utilities out there. So I'm counting on probably about a 2%. So these are going to go even higher, these 2 July increases. McDonald's, I have to wait till September. It'll likely do a 5, 6% dividend increase as well. So we'll total these up, the 43.52, but next time it'll be 43.86. So I mean, it's a modest gain, but you can see the dividends they're paying, you know, some multiple times in a day. Sometimes I'm getting, you know, the 14th I had 2, today I had 3. I have to wait until the 19th. We'll look at Home Depot. We'll just fill this one in real quick, and we'll grab and see what that dividend's going to be for Home Depot. It's in the dividend portfolio section here. I just find it, and there we go. It's this logo, and usually on the 1 month view we can see the next dividends earned. So 10.59 in 2 days as well received. So we'll just put that in there because it's as good as paid. And then I will put in the next dividend, or the last dividend paid. You can see the history, like with Home Depot. First dividend was $1.06. You can see how it's just progressively gotten larger and larger as I'm dripping the dividends. There's dividend increases, and I'm buying more and more fractional shares of all these companies. So these dividends just keep going up and up. It's great. It's great watching this over time. And you can go back to my older videos as well and see where I started from when I first started doing these videos in, I believe it was in 2021, January 2021. So we can see, let's look at the cash flow averages of the portfolio. And we went from 1,085.53 to 1,085.65. So you can see the change too in quarterly and annual. Those of course bumped up as well. So we're going to take the 1,085.65. We're going to put that onto the average, or the monthly average dividend tracking tab. So 1,085.65. Put that here at 1,085. Oh, let's get that 8 in there. That's 65. And so it added 12 cents. And again, I didn't deposit a single dollar. This was just the dividends dripping, added an additional 12 cents of monthly income. And it doesn't sound like much, but you can see how many events that I have per month. In just the month of June so far, we're on day 17, I've added $3.74 to ongoing monthly income. So we'll go to the dividend tracker tab, and you can see how it's changed over time. And I I started doing the videos right here, so you can see the history. From January 2021, the portfolio was at 18,700, but I went back a couple years, added in this information where my dividends were very small. I didn't have a month where I was over $100 until, let's see, right there, June of 22. So you're going to be at it for a while. You can see all my deposits, and where we're at right now at $284,900 rounded is the portfolio value rounded to the nearest $100. And what I do is at the end of each month, I just take that value and I hard code it. You can see we've had a good month. We have bad months, we have good months. It goes up and down. So we've added, here's the monthly increase here. And so we're up to month over month change in the dividend income, 0.35%. Here's my annual dividends right here, $13,027. And then no change to deposit. There's nothing to add there. So we're going to go to the second part of the video. We're going to bounce on over. Okay, so what we're looking at right now, this is my current employer 401k, the dashboard over at T. Rowe Price. And I've been with this employer since March of 2020. So this is about 5 years and 3 months of contributions. And you can see right now my current contribution rate, I lowered it. It's at 5%. So I'm getting my employer match and not really much else, but I've really built up my IRAs and my 401k. I'm over $1 million. I'm pretty comfortable with that. And I'm still about 7 years, over about 7.5 years away from being even able to tap it. So it's just going to grow even beyond that. It's likely going to double based on my, what I have, which is mostly stocks. So you can see here, I'm just invested in Fidelity's S&P 500 index fund. I think it's FXAIX. And you can see here's the total amount right now, the 107,150. Looks like we're having a down day today, so that's going to go down. We can see the account return. You can see from March there of 2020 to the end of May, 15.61%. You can see, like, here's my last contribution was 283.23. We'll get some historicals on this and just show you kind of how it's grown through time here. I think it's on, let's see if I go through here, that this will work. For some reason it's not allowing it. Let's go to, there we go, your balances. We'll try that. And we'll go to a balance history. Hopefully this chart will show. And we can go from 0 here. We can see from balance as of 3/31/2020, it was at 842. And you can see I was contributing, I think, close to the max for a little while here, and it's going to level off a little bit. And right about here, I kind of dialed it back, but you can see though it's still going up like crazy. We can see from 2023, this is about 2 years ago. Right around here, yeah. So about 2 years ago, it was at 62,000, and then now we go to the end, and we're at least in this chart, it was at 104.6. So you can see though it's still climbing there. You can see it shows different amounts there with the. It'll show in the key what's what. Yeah, there's the ending balance, the employee and employer, like contributions, and the employee and employer, those are broken out. You can see those amounts right there. You can kind of see that. So really it's an uncomplicated 401k. I'm contributing 5%, but if you're starting out, I would try to get a lot more aggressive, like this, try to make it grow quicker, and you can kind of coast, so to speak, when you get closer to my age. I'm 52, so I'm kind of letting off the gas a little bit on my contributions so I can have a little bit more cash. And because I know right now my philosophy, my strategy is to be really 100% stocks and then back that up with cash. Really, bonds don't really appeal to me, especially when we can get close to 4% or around 4%. in a high yield savings account. I know that will change over time, and I may change my philosophy there too, where I may not want to hold as much cash. Maybe I do go into bonds, we'll see. But you can see though, in my wealth accumulation, at least what I've done is I'm all stocks. I don't think there's really a reason to have balanced portfolio with things that are going to make you less money in the long run, like bonds. You're just going to sacrifice growth just for seeing less volatility. But if you're just going to keep working and plugging along through the decades, there's no sense to it. Why do you care if your balances are more volatile? It doesn't matter. You're not going to tap it anyway. You're just going to sacrifice gains in the end. And so that's why I think you should, at least I'm not giving you advice, I'm just saying this is what I've done, is I've gone this route and been more aggressive. I wasn't always this way before. Going through the 2008 crash, I actually changed my contributions to more like, it was very safe, like money market and bonds. I was getting out of stocks. It was a huge mistake, and it probably cost me thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Probably, who knows, maybe it was 100,000 plus mistake in compounding, where I was investing in slow growth things just because the volatility was scaring me, when I should have been buying at the bottom of the market in stocks instead. So that's all to show you guys for this video, was those 3 drips, and it made a modest change to my dividend income. And I'd meant to always get around to kind of show you guys the history of my current employer 401k. I can't really go back in time and show you how my IRAs were built, especially the big one at M1, which right now has a balance over $700,000. That was all my prior employment to this. And it was because it changed hands. I was with like Prudential and other places, and it just kept on changing. I probably had 3 or 4 changes of 401k plans. It was probably 4 or 5 more likely. So it was hard to get historical. So this one's been for 5 straight years at least. And I think the next one I'll show you is probably my IRA over at Vanguard, as well as my taxable brokerage account over there, and kind of show the growth of it. I did liquidate part of it for a down payment on my house, to put down about 40% on my house to make my mortgage payments lower my expenses. So thanks again, you guys, for watching this video. If you get value from the video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. I may do a buy video tomorrow where I contribute $100 to my M1 taxable brokerage account, and I'll pick 5 different stocks and put $20 into each of those. Thanks again, everyone. Take care.